Hey everyone, welcome to day 2 of Vlog Week, where I will be uploading a new video to my channel every single day. If you missed yesterday's video, then I will link it up above. And if you are new here, welcome. This is my channel. My name is James, and I cover lots of different skincare and lifestyle content with occasional travel vlogs. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you're enjoying this video, then give it a thumbs up. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about life in Germany. I've been living here for over 5 years now. As you can tell from the accent, I'm from the UK, so I thought it would be interesting to talk about the cultural differences coming from the UK and living in Germany as a foreigner, and also some of the more bureaucratical things that go on and that you have to do by living in a foreign country. When I first moved here, there was no talk of Brexit or anything like that. So obviously a lot has changed since I've been living here. We still don't know exactly what's happening with that. So right now I just have to wait and see what the future holds and how that will affect my future in Germany. So I'm going to talk about my honest views on experiences living here. I'm going to talk about the good and the bad, the things that I love and the things that I don't love. And that's just my personal experience. I think that everyone's different, but I'm just going to kind of talk you through what's been happening since I've been here. I've been quite lucky in that I've lived in different parts of the country. Germany is huge and it varies so much from area to area. Like in any large country, if you compare it to like the US and you've got the East Coast and the West Coast, Germany really does vary as well. So I've lived in Munich for a good stretch of time, where I had the pleasure of going to the Oktoberfest, and I was also working in Munich. And then right now I'm based in the south still, near Stuttgart, but I've also lived in Berlin for a good stretch of time. And for a while I was working regularly in Hamburg, even though I wasn't living there. So I've had a good chance to experience different parts of the country. First and most important thing to talk about is language. If English is your first language, then you are very, very lucky, because, you know, everywhere that we go, generally, if it's a big city, nearly everyone can speak English or some kind of English that they can help you and communicate with you in some kind of way. So me coming to Germany as a Brit, very lazy, not very open or able to necessarily pick up a new language easily, it was a massive challenge for me. For a long time, I really struggled in social situations. It was in these situations where I was with some of Christian's friends that he knew from when he was younger or when he was at school, and they would speak in English for a little while if they could, but eventually they're from Germany, living in Germany amongst all different people in a social environment. They'll want to make the effort and speak to you when they can, but generally the conversations would always go back to German, and quite rightly so. There's maybe a group of 3, 4, 5, 6 people socially, and it's just easier and faster to communicate in your native language. So eventually I would just feel kind of isolated and left out from the conversations, and that was a struggle. And it was at those times that I really missed home, I really missed my family, I really missed my friends, and it was definitely kind of tough. But once I did kind of start to learn the language and get a handle on it, it gave me a huge amount of confidence, and I really do think that it makes a massive difference to the experience that you have here, and it really will make your time here so much better and so much more of an experience, and you really will get to know people in a completely different way. That being said, I have not really managed to meet a circle of friends here that I love and connect with like my friends in the UK. And not all my friends in the UK are British. I'm based in London. You know, that's where I've lived for most of my adult life, and lots of my friends are from different parts of the world because London is a multicultural melting pot. But for some reason, in terms of with other Germans, I just haven't made the type of connection that I have with people in the UK. Obviously, apart from my partner who is German, he makes me laugh, makes me smile every single day. He's my best friend and we get on fantastically. But for some reason, just the humour and the personalities, I just haven't been able to meet anyone here that I've really connected with on a deep level in some kind of friendship. It really does vary depending on where you are in the country. If you're in somewhere like Berlin, it's so multicultural and completely different. But if you're based in somewhere like Munich, which is completely different to Berlin, it may as well be a different country that speaks the same language. Munich is very old school, very traditional, very pretty and soft and friendly kind of in its appearance compared to somewhere like Berlin, where the architecture is quite tough and austere and can be quite cold looking. I personally adore Berlin. I love it. I think that it's much more alike to London, where I also love. Munich is really popular and lots of people love it. It's extremely hard to get an apartment there because it's overpopulated. People love it. It's considerably smaller and I just didn't get it. I can see why Germans like to live there if they're from there, but it just wasn't for me at all. It just didn't work for me. Even though I lived there for over a year, I worked there, I met many people that were really kind to me, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. So when I moved to Germany, there was no talk of Brexit. That was not on the cards at all. Obviously now it's a completely different time, but it was very easy to come here, go to the town hall. Being an EU citizen, I was able to register, get a tax number very quickly and be here. So if you are from the EU, not from the UK where it's all uncertain, we don't know what's happening, we just have to wait and see. But if you are from the EU, then it's a really easy process to come here, get your tax number from the town hall, and then you can go on to get your medical insurance, which is a whole different story. So coming from the UK where we have the NHS, I now appreciate having free medical care so much. I found it very difficult with the medical insurance because if you work for a firm, then they will pay for part of it or all of it for you, and sometimes they pay for your entire family as well if you're married and you have children. Whereas I was starting a new company with my partner, so we each had to pay our medical insurance, which was, I think, 250 euros each a month. So when you're new somewhere, you're living off savings, trying to start a new company, it was quite an unusual circumstance, but I found that additional amount to have to pay every month, really difficult. And that was basically the baseline minimum that you have to pay. That was really tough, starting a new company or working as a freelancer. They've since gone on to change the rules of that slightly because I think that they've acknowledged that there are many people, German or foreigner, it doesn't make a difference, that are freelance or starting a company on a low or no income whatsoever, and having to pay that amount every month is really tough. So I think that they're working on changing it, but that was something that I found really difficult for a long time. I think one of the biggest differences between Brits and Germans in terms of communication is that Germans are a lot more direct. And I've come to the conclusion that that is probably a better thing. I was having a conversation with someone that I was working with once, who is German, and he described communicating in a business way or a social way, but particularly in a business way with people from the UK. He would say that we would dance around a subject. Say if it's something that is not the most positive thing, but it's a constructive thing that you need to communicate with someone, people from Germany will just say it. And coming from the UK, we can be a little bit taken aback by that because it's direct, but it's not meant in an aggressive way or a rude way, but it can sometimes come across as a little bit harsh because we're not used to that. But I think that what I've learned about people from the UK is we kind of tend to sometimes say things subtly to make our point in a softer way that wouldn't potentially upset someone or hurt their feelings, whereas speaking with someone from Germany in a business situation or whatever kind of thing it is, if you're trying to open a bank account or something like that, then they'll ask you a question because they need to know that information in a practical, straightforward way. And I actually think that it's a better way of communicating. So now that I've gotten used to it, I think that it's a good thing. And the last thing before I finish up that I really love about Germany is where I'm based now is the nature. So I'm in South Germany, so it's a fantastic area to be. So you are a couple of hours drive from Austria, you are a few hours drive from Switzerland, you're a couple of hours drive from northern Italy, Lake Como. You've got great access to all these different areas, so you can go skiing in the winter. You've got great options in the summer. It really is an amazing lifestyle if you love nature and the outdoors, clean air, healthy living. Then it is a really fantastic place to be, where you've got different varieties of places that you can visit in a short amount of time. I think that that gives you a general idea of what I like and dislike about Germany, some of the things that I've struggled with living here. I could go into much more depth and kind of do future videos based on specific things. If you would like me to do that, then just let me know in the comments. And if you have got any questions regarding something that I might not have covered in enough depth, then you can always ask me questions if you're moving to Germany or you're just interested, and I will do my very best to help you with that. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.